Today was my mother's birthday. I had planned something simple but meaningful. I pre-ordered an apple pie, her favorite pastry. I made sure it would be ready for pickup at 7 a.m. because I wanted to surprise her before she had breakfast. But well, life had other plans. I overslept. My alarm rang, but I must have turned it off in my sleep, or maybe I just snoozed it way too many times. I remember waking up in a panic, the sunlight already too bright for 7 a.m. I practically jumped out of bed, had the quickest shower, put on whatever was near me, and rushed out. I arrived at the bakery around 8 a.m. The lady behind the counter smiled as if she understood, went to the bag, and returned with a pie that was still warm. It smelled like cinnamon and butter and sugar, and honestly, it felt like everything was going to be okay. I rushed back home to deliver it to my mom. She had just finished showering and looked a bit surprised to see me so early, especially with the box in my hand. I handed her the pie and said happy birthday. Her face lit up, the kind of smile only moms give. She opened the box and guessed a little, laughing softly. Apple pie? Yay! We ate it together in the kitchen, talking about random things. It was simple, but it felt nice, cozy. After that, I had to head back to my place because I need to go to college for something important around 11 a.m. I was already a little late, so I didn't linger too long. I gave my mom a hug, said I'd see her again later, and got in my way. Halfway through the drive, my phone buzzed. I checked it at the next red light. A message popped up from my uncle saying that my grandma had passed away. At first, I froze. I had read it twice. I pulled over, heart suddenly racing. I didn't know how to process it. Just yesterday, I saw her. She was weak, sure, but she's still there, still breathing, still blinking. I immediately turned around and drove back home. My thoughts were spinning. When I got home, she wasn't there. Turns out she had already heard the news and left using a go-kart to Grandma's house. She texted and told me to just grab the car and come to Grandma's, so I did. Looking at the street, everyone around me was moving, but I was stuck. Like the world was just going through its usual weekend routine, but something big just shifted in my world. When I got to my grandma's place, her little sister, my great aunt, was sitting on the floor sobbing quietly. I understood what she must have been feeling. She and grandma were close. They live in the same house and they see each other every day. And now she's alone. She also never married, so no husband, no kids, just her and grandma. And now it's just her. The house felt heavy. You know, the kind of silence that isn't really quiet. We started preparing the house for grandma's body to arrive. Moved the furniture, laid down the white sheets, bought some flowers for the grave later. I was busy, but my mind was somewhere else, still trying to catch up with the fact that she's gone. Like my body was doing tasks automatically, but my heart was somewhere between yesterday and this morning. When the ambulance finally arrived and they carried her body into the house, that when it hit me, like it probably hit me. She's really gone. No more hospital visit, no more of her asking for help to grab her water whenever I came over. She was wrapped in white, her face peaceful. I felt a wave of sadness, but also some kind of relief. She had been struggling a lot in the hospital. I hated seeing all those wires, all the machines. She deserved her rest, and now she finally has it. We waited for my aunt, who lives in Semarang. She said she would drive straight away, but it would take around 5 hours, so we waited. During that time, people started coming, neighbors and relatives. Some bought food, some just sat around and reminisced. The house slowly fills with voices and stories, all circling around the same person. It was strange hearing so many different memories, someone you thought you knew so well. Made me realize how much of a life she had lived before I even existed. When my aunt finally arrived, it was around mid-afternoon. Her eyes was puffy, she had been crying the whole way, and when she saw Grandma's body, she broke down, dropped her bag, held onto the sheet, and sobbed. I hugged her. I didn't know what else to do. My cousin came shortly after. We all just stood there together, trying to accept that one of our family was no longer with us. I called the funeral ambulance again to take Grandma to a cemetery. We followed behind in a convoy. The cemetery was a place I knew well. Grandpa was buried there. But we can't bury her close to Grandpa since after he died, COVID happened and his area filled up fast during the pandemic. We placed the flower we bought earlier, prayed in silence, and stood around as the sun started to set. Golden hour light spilling across the headstone. It was peaceful. After everything, we didn't rush home. We just stand nearby, drinking bottled water, wiping sweat off our faces, talking in soft voices. I kept looking at the grave, at her name, the dates. It's strange how a whole life ends with two numbers and a dash in between. I thought about how she used to call me on my birthday when she still has a good memory, how she always has that same scent of eucalyptus oil, how she used to fold plastic bags neatly into tiny triangles and keep them in a drawer, all those tiny things. And just like that, she's a memory. The rest of the evening was quiet. We drove back slowly. My mom didn't talk much, neither did I. We just sat with our thoughts, letting the silence stretch. Sometimes that's all you can do. You let the quiet take over and be okay with it. Later that night, when everything had calmed down, I went through old photos, found some of her when she was young. Her smile barely changed. It made me smile, made me cry a little too. I guess that's what grief is. It is remembering and missing at the same time.